All right, everybody. It's Friday. And we are moving toward weight loss and better health in fasting space. So, as gently and thoughtfully as possible, in as encouraging a space as possible. It's been a heavy week. Time to relax a little bit, have a little fun on Friday. Look at some of the topics that we have dug into this week. Heavy emotional work. We've really been diving deep. So we got to take a little breath. We got to pause. We got to let that sink in a little bit. Think about the path that we're on. Think about the success that we've had. Look at the wins. And then psych ourselves up. Are you getting excited for the weekend? Are you getting excited for a holiday week next week? We got to build a little energy around that. We were talking about openness this week. That's where we started the week. We had this session, the illusion of understanding, as we're getting into these deep cognitive spaces. Why do we make the decisions we do? Try to really unpack it. Had, I thought, a really deep session. Forgiveness. We're talking about letting stuff go. Don't stop going, folks. Don't stop. Diving deep. Take a breath, though. We'll dive deep again next week. Today is going to be a little lighter session. Can you tell? Oh, man. Avoiding comparison. We hit that on so many good things. All right, we're going to charge all that up. Want to celebrate, though. Celebrate the path that we're all on together. Yeah, I'm going to hit some of these. So here I had fun programming this thing yesterday. Here I'm sending out my cheers. Those are my little confettis for y'all. This music is going to psych you up. We got to psych ourselves up. Gonna have a great weekend. You think about what sounds like the biggest encouragement for your weekend. All right, we're charging up on Friday. I know sometimes it's like Friday can be like the crash out of the week, and is like, how do we charge ourselves up for this weekend? We can think of, I say, a couple different ways. Don't have to do anything that is more than we want. If you say, hey, I'm going to get into this weekend, I'm not going to think so much about these emotional things. I'm going to relax. Like, this is completely great. Completely good experience. The other thing we were talking about the other day is like, all right, how do we frame this holiday week? I want people going into the holiday week totally psyched up, totally ready to have a great time, not be stressing about anything. Maybe you got to consolidate your food planning over the weekend so you take any stress off from the week. But we were saying, all right, how do we use our health tools? We got our little cockpit full of our dials. How are we going to navigate this next week? Realizing preservation is progress, right? We just go through the week. We don't have to make every week. Doesn't have to be like plowing forward in such an intense fashion. And float through next week. Preservation is progress. This is all going to be good. Get to the other side. So maybe this weekend is like the section where you say, I'm going to really lean into this weekend. If you have an open mind to it, if it sounds fun, if you're psyched up for it, I'm going to hit some fasting space into this weekend, open up that space, practice some of these mindsets, practice like the mindset today, have fun with it, you know? It's like a health experience. Fasting can be a health experience that is light and joyful. We're trying to find joy on the journey. You find a space like that, kind of in a groove, like the music is getting in a groove. It's lighter, you know? A lot of times, and I probably will continue that, I'll put like the real chill ambient sort of music on, try to really bring down the nervous system. Such a good thing to do. It's the vibe I'm trying to, give everybody, is like, take some space, calm everything down. But like, health can be fun too, Like, let's take these health experiences, let's make it fun. What would be a fun health experience for the weekend? Maybe it's getting outside, throwing on a jacket. I know it's chilly here in Wisconsin. Getting outside, leaning into movement in some extra fashion that you can. Super clean eating in this weekend. You say balancing out. Hey, I'm going to be dialing in on some treats on Thanksgiving. And say, can we create a space this weekend where you see like, oh, this is the path. I dial in here is going to bring everything into balance. Then you make it fun. Then you make it exciting. And you feel good about yourself, saying, you know what, look at this. I'm not comparing myself to other people. I'm comparing myself to myself. That's what we were saying yesterday. I'm dialing in here. And look at this, is bring everything into balance for my holiday week. Then you can start bringing that joy forward. Say, I know I'm going to have a good time. I'm not going to be guilt-tripping myself about anything. Creating the experience that we want to be having. Our little artistic expression of health throughout the holiday. Get the positive music going. Do you feel psyched up by positive music? Do you ever have it? Have you ever had it if you're feeling low, if you're feeling down? Do you ever crank up some positive music? And does it psych you up? Do you feel better? I would say that would be a really great space to dial into. That would be music as medicine, I would say. If you can take a tune, if you can take a song, if it's something you like, and you say, this is giving me encouragement, then that is music as medicine. Help you flow through a space without struggle. What a beautiful thing to do. What would a win look like for you this weekend? Have you thought about it? So are you up to anything in particular? Do you have a goal? What would a small win, even just to bring it down, something light, it doesn't have to be a big, heavy thing. What would be a small win for the weekend? Or what has been a win this week? And how can you weave that into your weekend? Say, hey, look at what has happened in this week. Can you take the success of this week? Can you take the thinking of this week? Say, how do I just gently set that down into the weekend and just relax with it a little bit? I'm going to shift us over. Let's hit our reflection space. A weekend reflection. Can you take some space? Ideally, find a way to get out into nature. Find a space, some open space with sky and trees. I know I get so much encouragement when I get out in nature. Usually the weekend when I try to seek out something like that. Get a lot of encouragement from that. Brought you a quote today on renewal. This weekend, I hope it's about renewal. Renewal is going to be the word of my weekend. This quote from Gertrude Stein. Every day is a renewal. Every morning, the daily miracle. This joy you feel is life. Love that. A weekend of renewal, a time to refresh ourselves. Is Renewal Friday. We're heading into the weekend. Today can be a refresh. Today can be a renewal. Every day, a miracle, a fresh start. We try to start this day so positive. We're going to finish this week out Friday. We're going to win this week in a great fashion. Set ourselves up for the weekend, and then the weekend, super renewal. Charge ourselves up, heading into a beautiful space for next week. Got some work to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Gonna be hitting it and getting ready. Holiday. Can't wait. Do you have a plan? Do you have a plan for the holiday? Do you know how you're approaching it? Maybe the plan is there's no plan. We said, all right, going to be off plan a couple days. That's all right. Do you have the plan nailed down for the other sides? Or maybe you say, well, what does it look like to sneak just a tiny bit of a plan into those spaces? That would be okay. Or you say, no, maybe we're going to focus. What's the plan for Tuesday, Wednesday? What's the plan into next week? Kind of load it in our minds so we're ready for it. Remember, we don't have to be perfect to make progress. This is the big thing I want to tell people. My day not starting out perfect. I'm doing my little singing song live without even knowing it. This is all good. Don't have to be perfect to make progress. It's all steps on the journey. A practice. A fasting process is a practice. We're practicing it together in these sessions. We're going to have a really great opportunity. Practice this experience this week. Like we said, already passed the test. I like that. Next week doesn't have to be a test. You don't have to bring pressure into it. Have the opportunity to flow into that space, practice the best mindsets that we can, help us enjoy a space with friends and family. Flowing into the space, enjoying it, flowing out of it, having gratitude for it, then we know we're going to end up in a good place. And then into the next week, we're right back on track. We have the enjoyable experience, the connection that we want. Then we're back in. Heading into December already. Where are we at on our countdown? We got to be around like 41. I would guess 41 days until 2026. The countdown is on. Man, we're going to be heading toward a month. Yeah, 41 days means 41 opportunities we've got to move toward our goal. Keep stepping on that path. So far, so good. It felt so far away to me when I started the daily sessions. We were like at 82 days. Like we're halfway already. We've cut this in half, 41. I'm having fun with it. I'm loving that I did it. I'm having good energy from it. It's really getting me dialed in and thinking, putting the pressure on to finish these books, get these thoughts out. I have appreciated it. We're going to keep diving on next week. I share one passage with you today. in this beautiful space. I love this encouraging music. Encourage us along. I got to put back on our reflection space. Nature as teacher. This one I'll psych you up for the weekend, okay? The joy we feel, at least that we want to feel, that we're striving toward and looking toward. The joy that this horn section is giving us is life. This is life right now. One step every day. And this is my encouragement for you for the weekend. Maybe it's just stepping out the front door. Okay, we got a lot on our plates who say we can't do too much. Maybe it's just stepping out the door. Taking a look at the sky. This is Rick Rubin telling us, giving us encouragement for our expression of health. Of all the great works that we can experience, I think we talked about that, the great work of our lives the other day, right? The music, the art, the expression, say nature, the most absolute and enduring. We can witness it change through the seasons. We can see it in the mountains, in the ocean, the desert, and the forest. We can watch the changes of the moon each night and the relationship between the moon and the stars. These are all things we can be trying to dial in on this weekend, some facet of the natural world to give us encouragement and inspiration. He says there's never a shortage of awe or inspiration to be found outdoors if we dedicate our lives solely to noticing the changes in the natural light and shadows as the hours pass. We'd constantly discover something new. We don't have to understand nature to appreciate it. This is true of all things. Simply be aware of the moments when your breath gets taken away by something of great beauty. It may be witnessing a single line formation of birds sneaking through a half-lit evening sky, or standing awed at the foot of a giant redwood tree that's 1,000 years old. There's so much wisdom in nature that when we notice it, it awakens the possibility within us. It's through communicating with nature that we move closer to our own nature. If you're picking colors out of a tone book, you're limited to a certain number of choices. You step out in nature, the palette is infinite. Each rock has such a variation of color, we could never find a can of paint to mimic the exact shade. Nature transcends our tendencies to label and classify, to reduce and to limit. The natural world is unfathomably more rich, interwoven and complicated than we're taught. So much more mysterious and beautiful. Deepening our connection to nature will serve our spirit, and what serves our spirit will serve our artistic output, which is our creation of health, remember. The closer we get to the natural world, the sooner we start to realize we are not separate. And when we create, we're not just expressing our unique individuality, but our seamless connection to an infinite oneness. I think that is beautiful. Express our unique individuality. We're doing that through health. Maybe you do it in some other way too, Like we were saying this week, I was thinking about these flow. I felt like we're kind of flowing back and forth in the space between our mental health, our physical health. Like he says in the book, is a oneness. We're experiencing a oneness in our being, mirroring the oneness that we are with the natural world. We get out in nature, we realize we are this. We are part of this. There's a natural cycle and a flow here between nature and us. It's the food that we eat is nature. It's communicating between the natural world and the body. Like we were talking about in this history, a lot of the development of the metabolic difficulty that we're having is that we have taken ourselves out of the flow of the natural cycles of the world. We take the food out, it's changed, it's synthetic. The body is like, what is going on? That's why I'm kind of grooving with this beat right now. It's like a rhythm. We need to find the rhythm between our habits, lifestyle, practices, and the earth, the rhythm of the earth, nature, the seasons, food. Need to get in a groove. When we're out of that flow, we've talked in other sessions. Disease as teacher. Disease we have to see, okay, things that we label as a disease can be communications from the body, trying to bring things back into alignment. When we catch the rhythm with the natural world, we get our body into that flow. Think of it like a dance. I've sometimes described that like a dance between our physical health, mental health. Have to get in alignment. Body has goals, mind has goals. Really, it's the same thing. Want to get into this state where things are flowing. Last couple weeks, we've been dialing in on this line between flow and struggle, recognizing struggle is real. So many people, we can all struggle with health. Struggle to lose weight, that's real, we validate it. But then we look at the goal and where we're going. The place where we're flowing toward. Minimizing the struggle. Learning from it and overcoming it. Turning the struggle into a strength. Sometimes I've brought up, like, okay, struggle can be embraced. Human beings are strong. We're all strong. We're becoming strong. And we can do difficult things and overcome them. That can be a strong and powerful mindset. Also, we never want to brute force things when we can flow with it. That's what this music is telling me right now. Just find the groove. Find the groove. In our food and our fasting, that's two sides of the dance, right? Eating and then not eating. Eating and not eating. And we mix in the movement with it. This is what I would say. If you're reaching a spot, if you're finding some struggle with it, dial in on some musical medicine, something encouraging with a beat. Maybe that's the weekend to say, hey, I'm just going to experience the groove. I'm going to experience the rhythm. I like that, how like we take something from one area of life and we let it to flow into the other area. We're saying maybe if we're having trouble with a fasting space, we can create openness somewhere else. That was the forgiveness space, something we can let go of. We're having trouble in a mental health sort of space. I'm having trouble letting go of this. Creating a physical open space in the body, something we can use to help there. Across this whole spectrum of health, It's all things that flow together that we can use to support it. Maybe we can take an idea from music, a rhythm, a practice. Let that just flow through. Maybe that's the only work to do. Open up a space. Take the emotion of a music that you want. Hear this track, a lot more open. The openness is just flowing in. You can sit with that and experience it. Then I think this one, the drums will crank up a little bit. Bring in the groove into our life, telling us, all right, things can build, things start small. Here's a metaphor for our practice. Things starting small, opening space, calming presence is flowing through. And we hear the rhythm underneath, building. Remember what we were saying the other day? Just 1% better every day. Just taking a little step, growing and opening the space, building our experience. Building into something bigger, something stronger. Something more fun. Anytime you change something, anytime we change, say change can be difficult. Some amount of change, it can be exciting. We say, is it fun? It's like, oh, it's a little tough. We sink into it. We gain experience. The fun starts when the anxiety of change starts to come down. Have that say, hey, I made a change. Change has happened. Change is happening. Look, we're in a space here. Finding the rhythm. The rhythm is what is centering. Listening to the beat. Seeing it, and the more the song goes on, the more you see, okay, like this is what I tell myself in a space like that. I'm listening to the music. I'm trying to process life. Say, hey, the beat is always there. The beat is going on. The song is progressing. That's like our experience with change. We're flowing through a space. You know, the song started, like now it's passing. Everything's okay. In an experience of change, that is where things can become more fun. We're starting to get on our feet. You know, you say, we're just sitting down to start. Usually, I often tell people with fasting, like don't mix, if you're brand new to it, if you're struggling with it, don't mix fasting and exercise, because like right away, like don't open up a big fasting space you're not used to and then try to go exercise, because it's like, you got to walk before you can run. And then I tell people with fasting, you got to sit before you can walk, you know, just to be in a space. You don't want to overwhelm the body. But think of this process, like we're saying, of like if we're finding the rhythm is like you want to get up and dance. Dancing is like this metaphor we're going with, this groove. Like you're at some party, not a dancer. I'm not a big dancer, okay? You find me with my beverage sitting over on the side trying to have a thoughtful conversation with someone. But you say, you know what? I want to like get up on my feet. If you were going to try to dance, you say, I'm not a dancer, but I see the groove. I want to get into this. We're sitting on the side. Maybe we got to get on our feet. And then we feel like, yeah, this is like actually okay. Starting to move with it a little bit, right? Trying it out and learning. That'd be my encouragement for you for this weekend. Beautiful to share this fun little space with you today. I am going to wish you very well on this weekend. Hope this was a fun, encouraging space. I want you to be encouraged on this weekend. Have fun this weekend. Rest. Focus on renewal. Find gratitude for the space wherever you can find it. And I say, eat some good food, get outside, open up a fasting space to the extent that it brings you joy. Enjoy your weekend as well. Very nice to have you here. We will dive back in on some good work and winning the week next week. Next week going to be a very exciting week. Yes, I love that. Thank you. That's awesome. Next week, we're going to have a great week. We're going to navigate it together. We're going to have a fun experience with the holidays, and we'll stay centered in a health space, the big picture of health moving forward. Looking forward to it. We'll see you back here next week. Have a good one.